to political pundits, religious gatherings are a good source of captive audiences every politician aspiring for high political office would like to associate with and mingle. As the election mood grips the country, politicians will continue exploiting Kenya's religious pluralism and divisions in church to pass their agenda to the faithful. Our senior political affairs reporter, Patrick Amimo, with that story.
Last month, the country witnessed the clergy in mainstream churches, in what appeared to be a choreographed move, ban politicians speaking from the pulpit.
So they were all reacting to the negative impression that the churches had become captive to political manipulation.
It has been increasingly clear that as we approach 2022, unless the church is careful, it will be used even to fund hatred. It will be a place where people would go and do not just politics, but malign their competitors.
Locked out of the pulpit, politicians moved to exploit the Harambee spirit to reach faithful through fundraisers. Last month, the Anglican Church of Kenya banned fundraising events during worship services in yet another attempt to gag political speech, but allowed churches to organize separate events for such. In October 2019, Catholic bishops banned cash deposits during church harambees and barred politicians from making political statements within the church. However, politicians are still taking advantage of church divisions over harambees.
They will come to fundraise, but they will do all the politics, so you can't stop them. How then do you stop them at the pulpit, but allow them to do fundraise? You will have done zero work.
So it's the image issue. It's not that they don't want the money. They just don't want it publicized. So they would like to, like the way the Muslims supposedly do. They donate a lot of money in the mosque, but you don't hear about that so-and-so donated.
Despite various measures by majority of churches to ban politicians from the pulpit and fundraising during worship services, politicians have found the church and other religious gatherings irresistible.
Politicians, by nature, like crowds of any kind. And especially when there is a captive audience, they love it more. And religious gatherings are captive audiences, if they get a chance. And they've been getting chances. And they do not have to speak. Just be seen there. That's enough.
Politicians are very good at violating regulations. The best example is COVID. There are measures in place that there should be no public gathering. Don't you see them around? So politicians are politicians. You can't stop politicians from meeting people. They will find a way. They can even come outside your church and talk to people. What will you do? Will you beat them?
Religion and politics are intertwined. In the late 1980s and 1990s, the clergy were in the front line in the push of multi-party politics and often issued fiery sermons on the pulpit, apart from spiritual nourishment.
They were addressing problems in the country, which could not be ignored. And to address a problem in the country means you have to raise political issues. If there were people who are being tortured, you cannot keep quiet and say, no, that's politics. No. People are being tortured. People are dying. Some bad things were happening. Somebody has to speak up.
That was high-level political activity in the interest of this country. There was the tribal element in the struggle for the secular liberation. You can see it in the fact that the civil society went quiet when Kibaki became president. The church became quiet, the mainstream church.
Patrick Amimo, KTN News.
Now from politics, let's move on to some concerning news where a live bomb has been detonated and 6 others collected by officers from bomb disposal unit at Nairobi Keju area